And my goodness, Angel Reese fans are furious. Now, he's got a clip out there on with Jeff Teague on a podcast. I can't even play.
A comedian's joke has sparked a fresh WNBA controversy. Charleston White's remarks about Caitlin Clark led Brittany Greer and Angel Reese to defend her, but what happened next captured everyone's attention. The fallout revealed a much larger issue brewing in women's basketball.
Well, we're going to talk about this Charleston White Club 520 podcast situation involving NBA player Jeff Teague, and of course they're all sitting around BSing. Charleston White is a comedian, and he's very damn funny, but he is also not afraid, like any good comedian, to roast or The
WNBA community erupted after a clip from Charleston White's latest podcast went viral, far beyond a normal sports discussion. On the Club 520 podcast, White didn't just compliment Caitlin Clark. He triggered a debate that is shedding light on growing tensions in women's basketball.
They're not worried about anybody's feelings. They literally go out there and crush. And that's what Charleston White did in this clip that went mega viral. I saw somebody asking, why would you have this guy on this podcast? Because it got 3 million views.
Here's what unfolded during the podcast. Charleston White, known for his unfiltered and provocative humor, began by talking about Clark's influence on the sport and how she attracts millions of new fans. However, the discussion shifted when he compared her to other WNBA stars. The episode, which has already gained over 3 million views, became controversial after White made remarks about Brittany Greer, joking about her experience in Russia, comments many felt crossed the line. 4. Supporters of White argue that this is typical comedian behavior. They test limits and make jokes about everyone without holding back.
Man, we need an OnlyFans WNBA. Yeah, then I tune in, but I ain't finna watch them long leg women run up and down the court with them knees. Yeah, man, with them knees, them high knees, them ain't no knees.
Shorty from the
20 she played the W with the long knees.
Some long ass arms, she'd be a good defender.
Yeah, man, you know what kind of money? And I heard they don't make a lot of money over there either.
It's coming, man.
Yeah,
it's on the way. It's gonna get better.
And that's I think
give
that's
him a chance, Chuck. Give him a chance.
I think that's the dope thing about Caitlin too, because regardless of the scrutiny they put on her name, every time she's came out and spoken publicly, she said, "Hey, I'm good, but we need to push the league." And like you said, she did a lot of vocal stuff that helped a lot of black women in the process, man.
She did? Oh, yeah.
She pushed the narrative to help a lot of people get paid, despite a lot of.
I thought Brittany Griner did that. I thought Brittany Griner did that.
He's a motherfucker.
Coming out the real BG.
The real BG.
Coming out the Russian prison.
Did you see that motherfucker with her shirt off at that pool?
The situation escalated when Las Vegas Aces guard Sydney Colson spoke up. She didn't just call out White. She criticized the entire podcast for giving a platform to what she described as ignorant and sexist commentary.
Now, it went viral because of Angel Reese, and, she's reposted some old April post about protect women's sports. A lot of people are speculating, does that have to do with this interview? Who knows? Maybe she's actually taking a stand against dudes in women's sports. I'd commend her if she's doing that. Hats off to you, Angel Reese. But some people think she's playing the victim because of a comedian's
post quickly gained traction, earning instant support from WNBA players and fans alike.
And this was her response to said podcast. And look, Charleston White absolutely crushed.
Things took an unexpected turn when social media users uncovered something Sydney Colson probably hoped would stay hidden. A tweet from January 2023 in which she humorously compared a female player to a male actor.
This point guard is all been out of shape. And unfortunately for her, this didn't go well because some people called her out while she's trying to play all high and mighty over this podcast for some previous Twitter post that she put out about
similar to the joke she was now criticizing. Once that tweet resurfaced, the tone of the conversation shifted, with screenshots of her past comments circulating alongside her recent criticism, highlighting a perceived double standard. Critics questioned how Colson could call out someone else's jokes while having made similar ones herself, moving the debate beyond Charleston White's remarks and prompting a broader discussion about consistency and authenticity in these matters. Angel Reese added another twist by reposting an older message supporting women's sports instead of responding directly to White, and her timing did not go unnoticed. Fans quickly rallied behind her, with some even calling for legal action against the comedian, further intensifying the controversy. Jeff Teague, one of the podcast hosts, attempted to calm tensions by issuing a statement emphasizing his positive relationship with Reese, calling her like a little sister, but the effort did little to slow the viral spread of White's comments or the heated discussions that followed. Reactions from WNBA players have been varied. Some stayed quiet publicly while liking posts criticizing White, while others addressed the situation openly, illustrating just how complicated it becomes when comedy intersects with professional sports. This isn't the first time women's basketball has faced scrutiny. Just months ago, Shaquille O'Neal faced backlash for comments about players' outfits, showing a pattern as the league gains mainstream attention and draws comedians and other voices into the conversation. Supporters of White argue that his jokes show women's basketball is finally being taken seriously, pointing out that NBA players are roasted all the time without sparking major controversies. With Caitlin Clark joining the WNBA and bringing unprecedented media attention, the league is now under a brighter spotlight and players and officials are still learning to navigate this level of scrutiny, with social media amplifying every twist. What began as a few remarks on a podcast quickly expanded into a broader discussion about respect, comedy, and the culture surrounding sports. With generational divides emerging, younger fans tend to side with Reese and Colson, while older basketball followers often defend White's right to joke, even if they disagree with his specific comments. Traditional sports media has covered the story cautiously, trying to report on the controversy without amplifying offensive content, though that caution itself has sparked conversation about how women's sports are portrayed. White has not backed down, continuing to make similar jokes in later appearances and insisting that comedy should have no boundaries, with athletes as fair game. This controversy now reflects more than one comedian or one player's reaction. It illustrates the growing pains of women's basketball as it enters mainstream attention, and how players, fans, and media are learning to handle heightened scrutiny, criticism, and comedy aimed at the sport. The outcome could shape the league's future, influence how comedians approach the WNBA, and set a precedent for managing similar controversies.